Welcome to another enlightening episode of our spiritual journey, where we journey beyond the seen and dive into the soul's untold stories. Today, we're exploring spiritual enlightenment, not as a mystical destination, but as an everyday experience accessible to each of us. But here's the twist: we'll bridge this with psychology and share unique real-life examples you haven't heard before. By the end of this episode, you'll have a fresh perspective on awakening and practical tools to begin your journey or deepen it further. Let's start with the basics. What is spiritual enlightenment? At its core, it's the awakening to our true nature, the realization that we are more than our thoughts, our roles, and our identities. Psychologists might compare this to what Abraham Maslow described as self-transcendence, the pinnacle of his hierarchy of needs. It's when we move beyond just achieving goals or understanding ourselves and begin to feel connected to something greater, whether that's humanity, the universe, or the divine. Take Jane Goodall, the legendary primatologist. While studying chimpanzees, she described moments of profound connection, not just with the animals but with the entire ecosystem. She often said those moments made her realize she wasn't separate from nature but a small part of an interconnected whole. That's a glimpse of enlightenment, simple, profound, and transformative. From a psychological lens, spiritual enlightenment can be understood as the rewiring of our cognitive and emotional patterns. It's like breaking free from mental autopilot. Dr. Lisa Miller, a psychologist and researcher, discovered that people with a strong sense of spirituality often have higher levels of resilience. It's not about being religious, but about connecting with what you feel is sacred. This rewires the brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making, and the limbic system, which handles emotions. I recently spoke to a friend who had been through severe burnout. Instead of pushing harder, she decided to spend an hour every evening watching sunsets, just being present. Within weeks, her mindset shifted from scarcity to abundance. Her clarity and joy returned. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, spirituality calls it awakening. Many people think enlightenment is about renouncing the world or meditating in caves. But true awakening often happens in the chaos of everyday life. One lesser-known example. Fred Rogers, yes, Mr. Rogers. His calm, grounded presence wasn't just a personality trait, it came from deep spiritual practices. He started every day with prayer, meditation, and affirmations. He brought that presence into his work, transforming millions of lives through simple, sincere kindness. How do you take steps toward enlightenment in your daily life? Here are 3 ways you can start today. Number 1. Mindful breathing. Spend 5 minutes focusing on your breath. This simple practice can calm the mind and create space for insights. Number 2. Gratitude journaling. Write 3 things you're grateful for each night. It rewires the brain for positivity and abundance. Number 3. Sacred moments. Choose one activity, like drinking tea or walking, and treat it as sacred. Fully immerse yourself in the experience. One day, I began lighting a candle every morning, setting an intention for the day. Over time, this small act became a cornerstone of my spiritual practice. Now, I don't have to plan or set aside my time even just to practice spiritual meditation anymore. Just light a candle and I'm halfway done for the day. As we wrap up, remember, enlightenment isn't a distant star, it's the light within you waiting to shine. Take one step today, a breath, a journal entry, a pause. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this episode inspired you, share it with someone who could use a little light. And as always, stay curious, stay open, and let your soul lead the way. See you next time.